right, welcome to lesson 3.3. And we're going to learn about what the half power means and the 1/3 power means for an exponent. What is that telling us when we have the 1/3 and the 1/2 power? So the warm up here is basically what goes for x. So the first one says that x is squared, and that makes 25. Okay, well, there's two answers for that. We've talked about this a bunch of times. So it'd be plus 5 squared, right? And negative 5 squared, plus or minus 5. That's simple, right? No big deal. And then what's a little bit confusing about this is there's like an invisible line here. When you take the cube root of something, you only get a positive answer or a negative answer. But when you take the square root in an equation, you get two answers. So number 2 here, something squared is equal to 7. Well, there's two answers that work. Z would be the square root of 7, and also negative the square root of 7. So if you square either one of those, you're going to get 7. But then we go down here, and we have y cubed is equal to 8. Well, what cubed is equal to 8? It has to be one number only, because you can't cube a negative and get a positive. So the answer is definitely 2. 2 times 2 times 2 is definitely 8. Let me go here, clear the page. And then the last one, we have w cubed is equal to 19. Well, there's no exact answer for that, because 3 times 3 times 3, that's 27. And then 2 times 2 times 2, of course, is 8. So the answer is between 2 and 3. Well, what do? Well, we say that 19 cube root, the cube root of 19, is equal to 19 to the 1/3 power, which is what w is. So that's what the 1/3 power is. The 1/3 power means cube root. So then on number 2, the square root of 7 means the 1/2 power. So square root and 1/2 power go together, and cube root and 1/3 power go together. Now, if you want to know the cube root of 19, this is what you do. Let me clear this out. So if you have to know what the cube root of 19 is, it's not an exact answer. You go to the math menu, and you look for the cube root symbol, and then you just type in 19, and it should give you an answer between 2 and 3. All right, and then, but if you don't want to hit the math menu, you can just be on the home screen, and you can do 19 to the 1/3 power, hit using the caret key, and it'll tell you the same thing. All right. So this page here is getting us to explore the square root. So if we graphed all this stuff out, we would see that the square root, or the 1/2 power, means the same thing, square root of 9. Square root of 9 and the 1/2 power are the same thing, which would be 3. And if we graph this out, we would see how it went through 3. Down here, if we multiply these together, when you multiply like bases, you add the exponents together. So we would get 9 to the 1st power. But if you think about that as a square root, the square root of 9 is 3, the square root of 9 is 3, and 3 times 3 is also 9. So there's two ways to look at it. This one here, it doesn't work out perfectly. So if we graph this, we would see that 3 to the 1/2 power is equal to the square root of 3. Now 1 times 1 is equal to 1, and 2 times 2 is equal to 4. So the answer is between 1 and 2. So if we made this graph, if you graph this on your calculator and you went over a half a space, you would see an answer between 1 and 3. So again, these are the same thing. If you have to know the square root of 3, or 3 to the 1/2 power, right? It doesn't look like it's an exponent there. It looks more like a fraction, but it means the same thing. Okay, so down here, they're kind of summarizing this. So this means the square root of 25. The square root of 25 is 5. That works out perfectly. Number 3 means cube root of 8. Well, that works out perfectly too. That is 2. But these don't work out perfectly. This means square root of 15, which is kind of close to 4. 4 times 4 is 16. So it's a little bit less than 4, right? So 4 is too much. So if you typed it in the calculator, it'd be a little less. Try it. And then this one here means the cube root of 2, which is going to be, something 1-ish. Because obviously 1 times 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, so it has to be between 1 and 2. But this really summarizes what's going on here. The half power is the square root, the 1/3 power is the cube root. So if your cube root button or your square root button are broken on your calculator, you could use those fractions instead. Okay, now we're going to ignore what I just did right there and get rid of that, and go back to the pen tool. We're going to match these up here. So negative exponent means fraction. Negative exponent does not mean negative number. Negative exponent means fraction. So you have all the versions of things here. So we're going to match this up. So take a chance, don't take a chance, take a moment and match these up. I'll get you started on the first one. So 7 to the 1/2 power means that we are making it be a fraction. So that's 1/7. And then 7 to the -2 means we're making it be a fraction and squaring it. So that'd be 1/49. Okay, so try the rest of them. Pause it and try these, see if you can match them up, and then we'll go through them together. Okay, 7 to the 0 power. I'm going to start up here on this one. 7 times 7 times 7 is 7 cubed. That would be 343. 7 squared, of course, is 49. 7 to the first power is 7, which is down there. Anything to the 0 power is 1 right there. And then we're going to, 7 to the -3, we're going to make a fraction out of it and cube it. So it's 1/343. We just learned that 1/2 power means take the square root. Where is it? Right. Where'd the square root of 7 go? I can't see it with my finger. Oh, it's right there. Square root of 7. Now we're going to take it upside down and square it. And then cube root is 1/3 power, so it's that one. And then, of course, we're going to make it be a cube root and a fraction at the same time, which is this last one right there. It's kind of hard to do on an iPad. Okay, flipping to this summary page here, and this is the key part right there. Square root means 1/2 power, cube root means 1/3 power. So that's the radical symbol right there. The radical symbol can change. Sometimes it has nothing, which means square root, like this one. If it has a different number, like a 3 there, then it means take the cube root. If it was a 4 right there, we'd be taking the 4th root. If there was a 5, you can just keep changing this number. It'd be the 5th root. But right now, we're just focusing on square root and cube root. Okay, we are going to take a look here, preview the purple page, and we're going to say, hey, fill this in. Of course, it's kind of in order. You can use your calculator to help you. But then we have the 64 to the 0 power. Of course, that's just 1, right? Multiple choice here. Whatever you do, don't say C on this one, right? Because 16 to 1/2 power doesn't mean you're cutting it in half. That's like that's not a good answer. So it's not C. No, not C. No. Right? So we want to think about, what does that mean? Well, it means your 1/2 power means you're taking the square root. Then select all, and this 6 is a review question. So if we have a square, it's not a very good square, is it? 82 square root of 82, right? The sides are the square root of 82 and the square root of 82. So when you multiply these together, right, you get the area. So it kind of makes sense. You multiply the two sides to get area, and that'll definitely be one of those answers. All right. Try the purple page and turn it in.